What up, guys? KryptoOneGamer here today, and it is episode 2 of our Let's Make a Game series. So, let's jump right in. Today we're going to be making our Galaga, or starting our Galaga space game. And, so yeah, we'll go into, so what you want to do is make a new sprite, name it SPR Spaceship. Well, that's what I named it. And then just make a little spaceship. And to do that, you just go edit, new, or if you already have one, even better, you just go create sprite from file. So that's cool. So I just made a little triangle. Next, what you want to do is make an object up here. And you already made one. And you're going to want to assign it to the sprite. And to assign an object to a sprite, you go up to this little thing right here. And you press it, and you click your spaceship, and I named this object OBJ Spaceship. OBJ standing for object. So now you're want to make a create event, and if you guys don't remember, what a create event does is it runs it once the object is in the room. So it runs it one time, and it runs it when the object enters the room. So normally this is using for making variables and stuff. I forgot to delete that. But okay. What you want to do is make one called movement speed. And to create a variable, all you do is say the name of the variable. And remember, you can't be spaces in a variable, so a lot of times you use the underscore. Then you set it equal to what you want. It can be equal to a string, which is words, and it can be equal to true or false. But we're going to set this equal to a number. And I'm going to set it to equal to 3. So we're going to move at the speed of 3. Well, not right now, but that's really what we're getting at. And we'll be using this event later. In our step event, you want to open it up. And maybe. Oh, my bad. Okay. I just want to explain what a step event is. So a step event, it runs its code every frame. So you use this to check if you use this a lot of times for movement, for collisions and stuff like that. This is a lot of times where most of the code will be. And remember, they have tons of other events. We're just not going to get into them right now. But all an event is when its conditions are true, it will run the action. So you want to drag a code, and to drag code in there, just go to Control, Code, Execute Code. Open up the code, and now what we're going to want to do is we want to make our object move. And since it's a shooter, or a space shooter like Galaga, we're going to move it left and right. And to be able to move something, you need to understand what an if statement is. So I'm going to show you. An if statement looks like this. So you're saying if, so that's how you call it, and then you have these little parentheses, but we call them parameters. And so what an if statement says, if the code in the parameters is true, I'm going to run my code. And it's by meaning it's code, it's whatever are in these little curly braces. To get to the curly braces, you just press shift and then the bracket. And the brackets are right next to the enter sign, if you guys don't know, on the right side of the keyboard. So we're going to say if, this is going to confuse you guys, but I'm just going to write it out first. Keyboard check VK right. Okay, so don't get confused here. I'm going to explain this. If keyboard check VK, keyboard check VK right, all it's saying is if the key's being pressed. That's all it's saying. And if you want to change it, you can go VK left, VK up. And what VK right is, it's just the right arrow key on your keyboard. So we're going to say if VK right, so in the little parameters, we want to make a code that makes it move to the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go X, which stands for your X axis, and what your x-axis is, it's horizontal, left and right. So we're going to say plus equals, and what plus equals means is it's going to add to your current x-axis. Because if we just did equals, so let's say we did plus equals, or if we just said equals 3, every time we press the right, it'll take us to 3 on the x-axis. But we don't want that, so we're going to want to add 3 to our x-axis. And to do, though, you do that. But remember our movement speed? So what we're actually going to do, we're going to do plus equals movement speed. And the reason we just don't put 3 there is because think about this. Let's say we get a power up and we want to change that. Then we'd have to go back and change every single one. When in reality, we can just go back to our create event and go, let's just say we did this. Power speed equals 6, which is our power up speed, and normal speed equals 3. And then we set movement speed to normal speed. So all we're doing is setting it to 3. Well, let's say we get a power up. Instead of going back in our step event and changing every single one, all we gotta do is say movement speed equals power speed. So that's the really what makes variables so underrated. People just don't think, and this is the way to go when you're. So whenever I make like a damage variable, I always set it to a variable. So whenever I'm saying something like a set of damage or something, I always set it to a variable so I can do this. And it really comes in handy later in coding when you're coding big games a lot. So right now, we got, if we press right, our guy will move right. Because plus on the x-axis means right, and minus is left. So now we're just going to copy this. And we're going to say VK left instead. And all I gotta do is change the plus to minus. And there you have it. We have just wrote a very simple code to make our player move. And I'm going to show you guys that works. So now what you want to do is make a room, which is this little white thing. I already have one made. You want to go into your room. Delete this real quick. And to add your guy in your room, just press this little box here, and then press your object, which is ours is OBJ spaceship, and then just press in the room. And you just press the little check sign, and run the game. Just wait for it to run here. So now you see we have a player in the room, and if I press the right arrow, it moves right. Left arrow moves left, and it's very smooth. But the problem is we can move outside of our room. And we're going to fix this right now. And to fix it, you're going to want to go into our OBJ spaceship. And we're going to want to make this a step event because we want to make it check every second to make sure we're not going outside of the room. Or every frame, sorry. So let's think about this. How do we want to make it so our guy doesn't move out of the room? So we're moving on our x-axis. So what we want to do is set a minimum and a maximum of our x-axis. And to do so, fairly easy. So I'm going to do x equals min for minimum. And we go x sorry, I'm just trying to think here. I haven't done this in a while. Okay. And then room width. And then minus. And then, so we're going to want to minus half of our object. So I'm going to, since ours is a 32 by 32, I'm going to do minus 16. And and all you want to do is actually boom, boom. So that's very simple. So what this is saying is the minimum of our x-axis is our room width, and that's our minimum. And yeah, that really comes in handy. And then we're going to want to do x equals max. Oops, my bad. Then we're going to go x 0. And what this says is our maximum is 0. Did I just do this wrong? Am I being a retard? I did it right. Okay. I think I might have just messed up. But let's just see. Okay, yep. It worked. So, now if you see, if we go to the side of the room, boom. The other side. Yeah. Finally. Okay. And boom. Okay, see how it does that? I probably shouldn't I was thinking about something else. So you don't need to add 16. So it will work correctly. So now we have made simple movement, and I think I'm going to cut the episode off right here, but very little code, pretty simple once you understand it. Thanks for watching, guys. KryptoOneGamer, please like, rate, and subscribe. Please leave feedback, and thank you. KryptoOneGamer out.